Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another brand new show. Today we're joined with Abel and Leo. Abel is our paying client, paying customer, and today we're going to change his life. This is the second video call. Last one was 1 week ago. Today we're here to gather more intelligence, ask him the things that have changed and shifted, and to further direct him on the right path. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my co-host here, Leo. And Quark, take it away. Welcome to the show.
Hello, my friends. I'm actually happy that Carlos is not here. I've
Me too.
found him quite quite annoying, or not annoying, but I don't know.
Yes.
Whatever. I'm happy that you guys are here, and I wanted to ask you guys maybe if you have any tips how to integrate my shadows better, because that was my intention actually, to integrate my shadows more and actually to become more myself, like be more authentic and not being more masculine in particular. It's just, I have the feeling that's what I'm missing. So yeah.
Great. Well, I do want to reflect one thing back to you. Since our last call last week, you actually feel more is quite disconnected.
No, you're both good.
I can't actually see it.
I can see you on my end, and I can see him. I think it's on your end, Leo. Okay. Leo disconnected. He'll be joined back. Okay, there he is. Okay, welcome back.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, since the last call, you actually feel more masculine. It's like something feels different in you. Number one, I appreciate the fact that you're honest as well by the fact of saying you don't want Carlos here. It shows that you have some level of, you're just real, you know? I think the average person would put a certain teacher on a pedestal and whatever it may be, but I think you're being pretty real, so I respect that. Now on the topic of shadows, so repeat the question. You said number one was about your shadows. You want to become aware of your shadows. You want to integrate your shadows.
Well, how to? Sorry.
Go on.
My number one question was how to integrate them better. Yeah.
So what do you feel are your shadow aspects?
Actually, don't really know. Maybe showing aggression, or I don't really know.
Let me jump in here and say that yes, I also feel that there has been a shift in you, a great change. You feel more fluid, more relaxed, more normal, stable. Not in a grandiose way, but in a simple way. Things are improving, things have changed, so that's very good. Congratulations. And yes, we're gonna talk to you just casually, randomly, like you're a friend, you are a friend, and see what we can learn, see what we can discover. So you said, talking about the shadows, I kind of want to mix it up a little bit and throw a wild curve. I want to mix it up so that we're not... so this just naturally comes.
I agree.
Okay, so let's see. What is missing in your life, Abel? What's going on with you? Let me just feel. What can we talk about?
You know, the thing is, it's very easy to come into a conversation like this and it becomes Q&A, and we just stay on the surface. We don't get to the deeper layers.
Yeah.
So like I want to, again, like Shiva said, I think the more free flow we keep this, the better. I think we just have an open conversation. You share what's present for you day to day right now. What is actually triggering that question? What is making that rise? And then from there we'll just keep flowing.
Yeah, so tell us what's going on with you. How was your day? How was your past week? Did you notice any changes? Give us a rundown.
Yeah, I 1 week ago after the call, like one day after the call, I was completely raging, actually. A lot of aggression came up that was connected to my ex-girlfriend, like what happened there. And yeah, at the moment I feel actually a lot of bliss also. But I also still feel triggered sometimes when I think about her or whatever. And I feel a little confused sometimes because I don't know really where I'm heading at the moment, but it's okay.
Good.
But I do actually feel stable also. I'm actually pretty confident in how I am, but I sometimes, like, you guys question me so much, so I was like, yeah, what is my focus actually? And yeah, I was just questioning myself a lot, I guess.
Question yourself about what? You said, what is your focus?
Yeah, about my focus in life. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to say that this is the first thing that I'll share with you here in this call is that I see and sense a little part of you in me. This is something that I've had to undergo and challenge myself on. Especially in the spiritual field, men feel like they resist getting angry and don't feel like they have the right to get angry, and anger is seen as something bad. To the point where you live your normal, natural life, and then something has to happen before you actually start exploding. Oh, and then you explode in your room for a day, and then you kind of go back to normal. Okay, I gotta be a normal human being, don't get angry. So I would challenge you, Abel, that don't resist your anger, don't repress your anger. If I'm sure there are moments in your day that you want to get angry, or something happens, you feel like you need to get angry, you need to get angry right then and there. Anger is very spiritual.
Yes.
Yes. I want to say one thing as well is like giving yourself permission to express anger, even when you're outside of your room, is training. Because there may be a fear of what happens if I express anger to other people. Will I lose that person? Will I start judging myself? Whatever the story may be, you have to be very conscious of that. You know, when I was going through my shadow work integration like 5 years ago, I'd have these big bursts of rage. I wouldn't know how to contain it, but I would only do it in my room. And, you know, I'd punch pillows and I'd do all of these things. It was very vicious in the way that it manifested at that time. As time progressed, it started to become more integrated and more stable. But the thing is, every time I would go outside or I'd meet other people, a people pleaser would come back online. It's like the nice person that wants to influence and persuade and be friends with everyone. So it's like I would bounce from the anger to the happy person, anger to the happy person. And it actually reminds me of that story of Jekyll and Hyde. I don't know if you've heard of it, but I don't know the full context of the story, but it was something about how his persona would shift in night and day, night and day. So shadow work is about integrating all aspects of the self. And so number one is accepting that you have rage inside of you, accepting that you feel all these emotions towards your ex-girlfriend. And then it's slowly but surely bringing it out into the world.
Yes.
Well said. Yes, I strongly feel that was directed towards me also because I empathize and sympathize with what you said. I too have had bouts of anger and rage, and it's very easy to express that in your room. Then the moment you go outside, it's like, oh no, no, that's definitely you can't do that there. And to some
Yeah.
extent, yeah, you can't. But you gotta integrate. You gotta get angry naturally, normally. So, what do you have to say about that, Isabel? How does that relate to you?
For example, in the last video, man, I was just holding myself back so much. And I watched the video a few times. I was just like, what the fuck? I was just like, I don't know. Um, and I did express myself sometimes, like during work or whatever, and I just said what I felt, or I just told my boss actually, like, yeah, fuck off, and yeah, it didn't feel actually too good. I was just like, was this really needed? Shouldn't I just said it? Should I just be quiet sometimes? Or yeah.
Great. Good, good, good. Okay, so now we're seeing something. Number one is self-shame around expressing anger. So the question is, where could have this originated from? And maybe, I don't want to put a projection onto it, but where in the ages between 1 to 9 do you feel that there was a time you expressed anger and it was shut down?
Yeah. Yeah, being angry is not appropriate, little boy. Don't
Shiva,
get angry.
hold on, that was a question.
My mistake.
Maybe actually I can't really remember uh, that such a moment occurred, but maybe in school I was. So when I was small, like as it is, like we fight sometimes. The kids fight, and my cousins even and my friends, they started to like, yeah, throw stuff at me and stuff. And then I always held myself back. I held myself back until I exploded, and I started crying and got like really angry. But I never really hold myself back, like, I can't really remember that I held myself back. But probably in social situations, uh, sometimes maybe my parents said like, yeah, don't do this or whatever.
Okay. So maybe as the years, if we look at Abel when he was a child, probably a lot more expressive, probably allowed himself to experience anger, express anger. Something must have happened. I mean, this is natural as well. Conditioning happens over years where we adapt to society and standards and do this and don't do that. And so eventually we constrict our full expression to stay safe. And I guess what we could say is that you have arrived there on some level where there is a fear of speaking up in certain situations. I would say you saying fuck off to your boss is just a natural part of that unfolding. I don't think that is a bad thing as such. It's just what was happening. It's what needed to happen. It was your authentic expression in that moment. And as this energy starts to integrate, you have less of a need to just tell people to fuck off. It won't be as abrupt. It's like the energy is eventually integrated, and people don't disrespect you when you've done the shadow work as well. It's like there is an energy that you carry that you don't even need to say anything. It's like the boundaries are just in your aura, it's in your presence.
Mm.
So, but until you get there, speak what you feel as true. Even here in this call, if there is something that you don't resonate with, or if in the previous call there's something you don't like, whatever it may be, this is a space to practice that and play with this emotion.
Okay, first of all, in the last call, I had the feeling, like, for example, you had the feeling I am uh, weak. I had the feeling, but I'm really not weak.
I think you are weak.
And you think I am weak?
Yes,
Okay. Weak in what way?
you're just weak. It's like you don't have any boundaries, you have no backbone, you're weak. Don't you agree? Why are you smiling?
Because I don't know what I should say. Because
Well, you should agree
I
with me.
no, I shouldn't.
Of course you should.
No, what the fuck? So I know um, that I'm actually I can handle myself. I can handle situations pretty well, but it's true that I don't have really boundaries. Like for example, in the last relationship, I didn't set any boundaries. But I think I'm strong in a way that I can handle tough situations.
Okay. So you can handle tough situations, but there is a part of you that is unable to set boundaries. Okay.
Or what did you mean by weak? I don't have boundaries. Or what did you mean?
What did I mean? Why do you think you're not weak?
Why should I think that I'm weak? I'm coming on this call and I don't know if you ever worked in a kitchen, but it can be tough how the people talk to you. And I stood through all that. And of course, other stuff in my life. Well, it's always the question. If you compare me to maybe somebody else, I may seem weak, yes. Maybe somebody that had to go through a lot of pain in their lives. I just didn't come in these situations. But those that I went through, I stood through them.
So, Abel, um, truthfully, I don't feel like you're weak. I think you have a lot of courage. I think just you being on this call, it says a lot about your character. So don't misunderstand me. I think in this call you have way more self assurance, groundedness than you did in the previous call. I think there's something that's awakening inside of you and activating. I feel that you have a lot of potential. When I feel you right now, I feel that you have more boundaries than you probably have ever had with your ex-girlfriend. The energy that I feel from you now, if you was in a relationship with her, would not tolerate that. And I know that you believe that as well. So
Yes.
so yeah, don't misunderstand me. A part of me wanted to see what's going on inside of you, see how much you actually believe that you are not
I
weak.
I realized that.
But this is beyond words. It's all beyond words. It's beyond the mind as well. So again, the way that I perceive you right now is someone that is way more grounded and does have more of a backbone. That's my honest reflection.
I'm very happy to hear that. So I'm of course also watching you guys talking with Mariam, and I also like her energy, And I also did the entity, or I watched the entity release video with you guys. And they helped me a lot to release myself from my ex-girlfriend. Somehow there's not as much pain when I see her, or uncomfortableness, or yeah.
It's great. Look, I mean, sometimes rejection and heartbreak can be one of the most powerful ways to integrate our root and integrate our shadow. It's like this is like the greatest gift you could ever possibly ask for. Mariam said the same thing. She had her root chakra awakening activation when she got rejected by a man. So we want to turn the pain into purpose, turn it into truth, turn it into a stabilization within ourselves. So keep working with that energy. Anytime you get triggered or rejected or whatever, sit with it. Don't avoid it. Don't numb yourself. Don't distract yourself from feeling it.
Yes, okay.
Don't smoke weed when
No,
you
I
feel
won't.
discomfort.
I won't do this anymore. I also felt before when you were saying that you don't really think that I'm weak. For a second, I felt my Kundalini energy really like hitting me hard. It was like, what?
I can see that you're having these like,
Yeah, shaking. I also reached out to you guys actually just because I want to be in touch with you. I think that was a big reason why I actually reached out to Shiva, because I wanted to also do these calls with you and take part in this. But I never felt really that I can bring any value to your podcast, because maybe low self-esteem, or I don't really know. I'm also maybe not, or I'm getting better at talking.
well, I think
But
it's
yeah,
a process. The more that you work with this energy, the more unapologetic you become, the more clear you become on your values. These opportunities will just magnetize into your field and it just becomes normal. So go, of course, you know. And yeah, again, I think it's a matter of continuing to work with that and letting it fully stabilize inside of you. Realizing there is no difference between you and me, you and Shiva.
yeah, I know it, but my mind still separates. Deep inside of me, I know it, but my mind still separates. When I connect to my inner core, I know there is no real difference.
Talking about the last part that you said here, about jumping on videos with us and the fact that, or your feeling of not enough value. I don't think it's because you don't have enough self-esteem or confidence. You're displaying that, all that here. I think it's more of you're a young man, you're still learning, you're advancing. And it takes time for you to acquire wisdom and knowledge and perspective and all these things that can be shared. But still, what you have to share. You've obviously lived long enough on this planet. You have some perspective. You have some valuable insights. So I want to challenge you here. I would love to see you make a video and publish it on your own personal video or YouTube channel with clear lighting and clear audio, maybe somewhere outside where people can see you, and just talk. Talk about yourself, tell us who you are, give us an intro. That would be not only good for you, but also good for your YouTube channel.
Okay, like an intro, like what I am about or what this YouTube channel is about, and yeah.
Exactly, yes. And I still want you to continue on doing this work right now. So I still think that if we left this call, you would still go through experiences and you would hold yourself back. These are the words I used. I held myself back. So my question is, well, why do you hold yourself back? Is it something really necessary? And do you think that if you don't hold yourself back, something super bad's going to happen? Or what if you don't hold yourself back anymore?
Can you ask the question one more time? Sorry.
If you stopped holding yourself back today, or some situations you didn't hold yourself back, would you go to prison? Would something bad happen? Why are you holding yourself back?
What is your fear of?
Hmm. I think getting laughed at maybe, or maybe getting pushed out. I do say what I think, but only to like my parents, for example. And sometimes a lot of times I think, yeah, should I just shut up and be quiet? Like, is it sometimes better to speak less? Like, what is this? Is this even worth something? All these thoughts and ideas that I want to share. And that's what it goes through my head, and also fear of I think it's just not being accepted. I think that's the fear, or me being too hard on people, being like actually hard on people and not giving a fuck about what they feel, just saying what I think.
Do you think that you can not hold back in this call and tell us exactly what you think?
Yes, actually I can. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Do you have any thoughts about that, Leo?
Yeah. I think we're in a container where it is allowed for you to express yourself. So it's a lot easier. Now, in the context of you being at work, or someone like, let's say someone pushes you down the street, whatever it may be, I want to give you a story, actually. My business partner, he's dealt with a lot of anger repression in his life. I remember there was a time he told me that he was in the airport and someone would accidentally put their suitcase over his foot. And he felt this anger inside of him. And he continued walking, and then they actually put the suitcase. I want to say this. They put the suitcase back on his leg again, and he felt this anger and this rage that came up. And he's like, oh, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. And then he was like, if they do it one more time, I'm going to say something. They ended up doing it again. He still didn't say something. He said the same thing in his mind. If he does it one more time, I'm going to say something. The guy does it again, and he says nothing. And so that is like, every time you reject that anger, you're rejecting an aspect of yourself. You're rejecting that inner animal, the belly that just wants to do whatever the fuck it wants to do, that wants to say what it wants to say. Now, again, in this call, this is a safe container. You can say whatever you want to say. Truthfully, it doesn't matter. Now, what would happen outside in the real world if someone tests your boundaries or if someone does something that you disagree with? Only time will tell. But I feel like the more context, the more situations you put yourself in that will bring that up, the better. One of the things that benefited me the most back in the day was doing a game pickup. And so I used to go out to nightclubs every single night. Why? Because I had severe social anxiety. I was making money, but I had severe social anxiety. And I remember I went to a nightclub once upon a time with my friend, and he brought one of his wealthy friends. I was like I was 18, 19. His friend was like 40. He was like this really overweight Indian dude. And he comes into the nightclub with this beautiful woman. I asked my friend, who is this woman? How does he know, how does he know her? He told me that she's a prostitute, and he basically pays prostitutes to come and live with him and flies them out, and that's how he gets his sex and his connection to women. And I said to myself, if I don't ever learn how to become good with women or social skills, I will be doing the exact same thing. So what I did was I would just go out to nightclubs by myself every single night, sober, and try to learn how to talk to people. And at first, there was huge fear. I wouldn't even speak to women due to fear of rejection. So I'd talk to this, like the guy that's standing in the corner of the club, and I'd be like, "How are you doing?" And as time went by, I started to become more confident. I started to receive more, challenges, confrontation, until one day I met this homeless guy outside of a nightclub. He was with three beautiful women, and he taught me how to be confrontational. He taught me how to be more disagreeable. And so some of the things that we would do is go up to women in nightclubs that were with men and try to take the woman from the man. I'm not an advocate for this by any means, but the reason why I'm saying this story is because I think you need a training ground. I think you need to put yourself in situations that can bring something up within you rather than keeping yourself safe. It's very easy to be a spiritual seeker and just focus on your meditation practice, and you go to work and you come back home and nothing really comes up. But what I'm going to say is I want you to invite confrontation into your life. I think this is one of the most powerful things you can do, is to set the intention to not necessarily be confrontational, but to receive it into your life. And
So
through that, you will become more, it's like you sharpen your sword. And also you will notice situations when people are challenging you. It's so easy to overlook them when you're in a state of avoidance.
yeah, that's funny. Uh, when I was speaking to my chef, and I felt this confrontation from him, and I was just like, said like, yeah, fuck off. I didn't say in that way, but yeah, basically that's what I said, and he responded like, yeah, tomorrow you can do the dishes for the whole day or something like that. I was like, okay, no worries, no worries, it's okay. So yeah, I'll try to put myself in these situations more, or to invite it, and not run away from confrontation.
And don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that you have to actively be an asshole, actively hurt people and harm people. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is be open to having people challenge you, be open to having people disagree with you, be open to situations that will bring up emotions inside of you. Don't shy away from them. They are perfect training grounds. All I'm offering you right now is a reframe, because most people go their entire lives living in fear of confrontation. And so that's their frame of mind. Avoid confrontation, avoid confrontation. And they just they keep protected, safe. If you open and reframe your mind to confrontation is okay, I give permission for myself to feel anger, rage, sadness, joy, etc. Think about the experience that you have, the difference in your human experience. It goes from this box to, oh wow, there's so much more here, so much more available.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that, Abel, when you leave this call and you go back to work or go back to your daily living, you won't hold yourself back anymore. I think you have found it safe to express yourself here on this call, and also this will carry on to your everyday life. And talking about this chef and your relationship with your employer, there has to be a certain human respect that people give you. If they don't give that to you, you have to demand it. And if that's not met, then you have to leave. You can't have your self-worth be degraded because you need a paycheck. I don't think you're living in a country that you absolutely must have a job. So if it comes to it that you stand up for yourself and you push this man back, either he will respect you more, most likely that's the case, or he's totally deranged and he'll maybe fire you or you'll have to leave your work. That's not wanted, but hey, God will have a better opportunity for you. This is just how it works. If you...
Shiva,
Yes.
sorry. This chef is a great chef. He's very respectful. It's nice to work with him. But I also challenge myself, just to go into confrontation. But this guy, it's not the same one like that I was talking about last time. It's
Okay.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. So yeah, after this video call is over, definitely make that video. We want to see more of who you are. We want to know about you. And rewatch this video, the video that we just recorded. Yeah. I think things will turn out very well after this call is over. Do you have anything else to say, Leo?
I feel like there is a lot more here, but I feel like there's only so much that we can get right now in this call. I think there is one thing that I want to speak into about how we gradually integrate this anger and how it expresses itself. I guess the immediate thought that comes to my mind is, yeah, once anger is integrated into our body and mind, we have less of a need to just like say fuck off. And like I said earlier in the call, there is just a natural presence, there is a natural aura that people just respect you. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. Like I'm just gonna let him be. And in fact, that is also an energy that people will pay more for as well. I remember when I was hosting a retreat once upon a time, I helped someone move through this anger repression that was just stuck in his being. And he told me the following day he got the biggest music deal he'd ever got. It was like a record deal. He was a producer. And that was because he started to realize his self-worth. What am I worth? How much should I be paid? The amount that you get paid is actually a reflection of how much you value yourself. So I think, again, as you start to deepen in this work, it's like more pay rise, more respect as people are in your field. Women will find you more attractive. Women will naturally just come into your field. There are a lot of benefits to doing this kind of work that you have set the intention to do, this shadow work, this anger repression work. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to see how it all unfolds over the coming weeks.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't mean that, again, you have to be a bad person or tell people to go away. But sometimes it's needed. Sometimes you need to tell them. And sometimes it'll benefit them. Oh wow, didn't you realize? I need to be more aware of where my luggage is so I don't hit people on the feet. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, it's about being authentic, genuine, truthful to yourself. What else is there? Nothing more important than that.
Quark, are there any final questions or anything that's present?
No,
Great.
I'm thankful. I'm very thankful, and I would like to do this again.
Okay, my friends, that's it. See you next week.